And we're going to go over to Gemini. And let me zoom in on Gemini a little bit. And I'm going to say, all right, what is vulnerability analysis? And to be honest with you, vulnerability analysis is pretty much in every industry. It's not only to cybersecurity, because when you think about these, whatever type of attack that happens, where like you have people who will do a vulnerability analysis, and that's okay. These are your weak points. These are your choke points and stuff like that. You should block this. You should cover this, cover that, and then they don't do it, and now an attack happens. That's a vulnerability analysis, right? Now the same thing can be done for cyber stuff, which totally makes sense. But vulnerability analysis has been around for a very, very long time. All right, but let's just do what is vulnerability analysis in cybersecurity. All right, so vulnerability analysis, often used interchangeably with vulnerability assessment, is a critical process in cybersecurity that involves identifying, quantifying, and prioritizing security weaknesses, vulnerabilities in computer systems, network applications, and other IT assets. The goal is to proactively discover these weaknesses before malicious actors can exploit them, ultimately reducing an organization's risk of cyber attacks and data breaches. Here's a breakdown of what vulnerability analysis entails. Key steps in vulnerability analysis: asset identification. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but asset identification and inventory, vulnerability scanning and identification, automated vulnerability scanners, manual reviews, penetration testing. What? Somebody told me the other day that that vulnerability analysis is not part of ethical hacking and penetration testing. So let's just read that one. While often distinct, penetration testing complements vulnerability analysis by actively attempting to exploit identified vulnerabilities to determine their real-world impact. So it's distinct, but it complements. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Maybe we were both right at the end of the day. Threat intelligence: utilizing information about current threats and attack patterns helps anticipate potential vulnerabilities. Vulnerability analysis and prioritization: once vulnerabilities are identified, they are analyzed to understand their root cause, potential impact, and likelihood of exploitation. This involves categorization, severity assignment, business context, remediation, and mitigation planning. So it breaks down what remediation is, what mitigation is, what acceptance is, verification and continuous monitoring, types of vulnerability assessments, network-based, host-based, application, database, wireless network, cloud assessments, social engineering. What was that? Okay, it tells you where it gets it from. That's pretty cool. Why is vulnerability analysis important? Proactive risk management, reduced attack surface, compliance, improved security posture, cost savings. In essence, vulnerability analysis is a fundamental practice in cybersecurity that enables organizations to stay ahead of threats by continuously identifying and addressing their security weaknesses. All right, cool. So that is in quick recap. What is vulnerability analysis? So I also want to see. Let's ask specifically: is vulnerability analysis a part of penetration testing? Let's see what it says with that. Yes, vulnerability analysis, often referred, is a crucial part of and a prerequisite for effective penetration testing. While they are distinct concepts with different depths and goals, they are highly complementary and often used together in a comprehensive security strategy. So here's what I'm saying, right? What I'm reading is, although technically they might not be, like, vulnerability analysis might not technically be a strict part of penetration testing, but it's kind of like a requirement to do them together, because if you don't assess the vulnerabilities, then what the hell are you going to do penetration testing anyways, right? So that's kind of like how I see it. It's like they are highly complementary, right? So it's kind of like saying peanut is not a part of jelly, or peanut butter is not a part of jelly and bread. However, it would be a crime not to put them together, right? So something I don't know. That was bad. That was weak. However, they do have the peanut butter and jelly that is all in one bottle. It's like I forgot the name. I forgot the name. You know what? Let's see. Peanut butter and jelly in one jar. Jar. The goober. Shout out to the goober. And for those who don't want to pay the $4.19 or the $5.43 for the goober, they can get the Walmart brand Creamy Stripes. Shout out to Creamy Stripes as well. That's the one that I would get. I would get the Creamy Stripe. All right. I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest. I would get the Creamy Stripes. I'm just saying, it's the same exact thing, but half the cost. Like, come on. All right. Anyways, whatever. Don't judge me. All right. Don't judge me. You if you came over and I gave you some Creamy Stripes, you would, and you didn't see the jar, you would think that it was the goober. All right. So look. All right. I'm just saying. Come on, man. All right. Anyways, shut up. All right. Anyways, all right, let's go. All right. So here's how they relate: vulnerability analysis, vulnerability assessment, and scanning. Let's see. Purpose to identify and catalog potential security weakness. Vulnerabilities in systems, methodology. Primarily uses automated tools, vulnerability scanners that scans for known vulnerabilities against a database of signatures, misconceptions, outdated software, and other common weaknesses. Outcome of reported list. All right, cool. All right, penetration testing. Simulate a real-world cyber attack to discover exploitable vulnerabilities, assess their actual impact, and determine if unauthorized access or other malicious activities is possible. So, let's put it like this, though. Penetration testing is a component of ethical hacking. Vulnerability analysis or assessment is a component of ethical hacking. So, in order to learn how to do penetration testing, we would have to learn the full breadth of ethical hacking, which means we have to learn about reconnaissance. We need to learn about scanning. We need to learn about the analysis. We need to learn about the exploiting, right? The penetration testing comes more at the exploiting level, but all of it's all encompassing. It's all encompassing. Let me see. All right, so penetration testing, simulate real-world cyber attack. Methodology involves skilled security professionals, ethical hackers who use a combination of automated tools and manual techniques to actively exploit identifiable vulnerabilities. That reminds me, I started watching a movie last night. I fell asleep with Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, 50 Cent. Forgot the name of the movie, but they were pretty much showing jails their vulnerabilities, prisons their vulnerabilities, and how Sylvester Stallone could escape. I have to go back and watch the rest of it tonight. But that's also a vulnerability analysis, all right, assessment. Scope often more focused and targeted at specific critical systems or applications. Depth much deeper as it goes beyond identification to actively exploit weaknesses and chain them together for greater impact. How vulnerability analysis fits into penetration testing often serves as the initial phase or an ongoing component of penetration testing, right? So they complement each other. It works as a part of it, or it is the prerequisite, as I said earlier. Information gathering and reconnaissance. We already read through that. We already worked through that. Focusing efforts, validation beyond known vulnerabilities. In summary, vulnerability analysis identifies the doors and windows that might be unlocked or weak. Penetration testing tries to open those doors and windows and then explores what's inside and what else can be accessed. They work best together, providing both a broad overview of potential weaknesses, vulnerability analysis, and a deep real-world assessment of exploitable risk. Penetration testing. Many security services are offered as vulnerability assessment and penetration testing VAPT to reflect this combined approach. All right. So now we're going to be jumping into what is Nessus. What is the Nessus tool for ethical hacking? It says Nessus is a powerful and widely used vulnerability scanner that plays a significant role in ethical hacking. While it's not a complete hacking tool in the sense of actively exploiting vulnerabilities, that'll be the penetration testing part. That's more the realm of penetration testing frameworks like Metasploit. It's an indispensable component of an ethical hacker's toolkit for reconnaissance and vulnerability identification phases. Here's how Nessus is used in ethical hacking. Vulnerability identification, the core function, Nessus scans target systems, servers, workstations, network devices, web applications, databases, cloud resources to identify known security vulnerabilities. So one thing that I'm going to have to figure out how to do is how can we test Superbase, Lovable, our applications for potential, because I would assume that there might be potential vulnerabilities with Superbase. So we have to make sure we need to do some type of scanning on that to make sure that our applications are secure, that nefarious actors cannot get in there, you know? So that's something that we'll be looking into as well. That's going to be a great project to work on. Let me see. Where is this thing? All right, cool. All right, so it says it can detect a wide range of issues. It does this by comparing system configurations, software versions, open ports, and services against an extensive and constantly updated database of known vulnerabilities. CVEs. We worked with CVEs the other day. Common vulnerabilities and exposures. So when we built our RAG, we were feeding it some CVEs. Also, on yesterday morning show, where we're looking at Hugging Face, we were looking at common Volt. Let's see, common. Can I just search CVEs? CVE single line fixes CVE. So look at this CVE data set, right? So this CVE data set is something that we could feed into our RAG, right? Retrieval augmented generation. So we can feed this. Let's say we built it in a way that it'll always go out there, pull up the latest version to continue updating our RAG. We also get it from another source, other sources and stuff like that. To keep our RAG updated. That way we can say, all right, when you scan, use this RAG to to see if you find anything in there and give us an assessment, write us a report, put it in this format. Shout out to, I'll tell you about this later, but shout out to my guy, Paul. Paul does AI. We'll check that out too, right? But anyways, so that is what that does. Let's go back to Gemini. And it's cool. It's cool that I'm using Gemini today because yesterday's video for how to get started with like writing better prompts than you're doing now, I use ChatGPT. Today I'm using Gemini, right? So you're getting the best of both worlds on how maybe next time we'll use Claude, but how to start getting more familiar with these things. I used to not like searching stuff with ChatGPT, but when I'm doing this type of research, I don't mind using one of these AI models. Now, when I'm trying to troubleshoot something, then I might go to Google. Now I might go to Devin. I don't know. But with all these tools, the sky's the limit, all right? It can detect a wide range of issues, all these type of issues, assess discovery and network mapping. Before even looking for vulnerabilities, Nessus can discover active hosts on a network and map its topology. This can help ethical hackers understand the scope of the target, configuration auditing, prioritization of risks, detailed reporting, pre-built policies and templates, how it fits into the ethical hacking process. So in the context of ethical hacking, reconnaissance phase, to gather information about the target system, identifying live hosts, open ports, and discover potential attack vectors. Vulnerability analysis phase, to systematically scan for and identify known vulnerabilities that could be exploited. What Nessus is not, I repeat, what Nessus is not. In the context of pure hacking, it is not an exploitation tool. Nessus is a scanner, not an exploitation framework. It tells you what vulnerabilities exist, but it doesn't actively exploit them to gain unauthorized access or demonstrate impact. For that, ethical hackers would typically use tools like Metasploit, PowerShell Empire, or custom scripts. And what else? Real-time monitoring, Nessus performs point-in-time scans. It's not designed for continuous real-time threat detection or intrusion prevention. So in essence, Nessus provides the ethical hacker with a highly efficient and accurate map of an organization's known security weaknesses. This map then guides the subsequent more targeted and manual exploitation efforts during a penetration test. It significantly reduces the time and effort of an ethical hacker needs to spend manually searching for vulnerabilities, allowing them to focus on the more complex task of proving exploit to. Oh my God! Come on, man! All right, I'm going to have to prompt this to not use words that have more than 2 syllables that are hard to pronounce. I'll say more than 3 syllables because this exploit ability. More complex tasks of proving exploitability and assessing business risk. Okay, I got that. Just have to slow it down, break it up word by word. I see some people, man. I tell you, some people they be trying to send some super chats with these 5 syllable words, and then they just want us more difficult students to just throw these words. That's why I say tell it to me like I am a 6th grader, like I'm a 7th grader, right? No, let's not go any higher than 7th grade, okay? But we got it though. We got it. Exploitability. All right, there we go. Anyways, so now let's see. All right, let me go to Nessus. We got that. So let's see where. So Tenable makes a Nessus, I guess. All right, Nessus is built from the ground up. We can get started. Try. Is that the one that I want? Is this it? I guess it's this. I guess it's from Tenable. Okay. Let's go get Nessus. Maybe the Essentials one, the free one. We'll have to put in our first name, last. So register for an activation code. So do try. Under try, Tenable Nessus. Requested. Where's my free download? Install Nessus on Kali Linux. How to get started on Kali Linux. So I'm gonna need my activate. All right, so I do need. All right, so download. So we'll follow these. We'll follow these steps and see if we can get it on there. Before we go to break, let me go ahead and start up our Kali Linux. It's gonna be VMware Fusion. We're gonna switch to the other screen. And we are going to run this. All right, so let's log in. And I'm going to move this tab over here. And let's do it like that. And we will do it like that. All right, so we need to do, so we're going to do apt update, app upgrade. Let's do sudo. Sudo means for super user.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Maybe the other one needs pseudo as well. All right, there we go. So yeah, both need pseudo. And while it's getting upgraded, let's go to break. Let's go to break. So I'm gonna check the chat, and then we are going to find out. We're gonna find out.
I've never been afraid to walk away. Left the shadows in yesterday. They thought they owned the lock and key, but I'm the storm they didn't see. They whispered out behind my back, thought my strength was what I'd lack. But I've turned scars into a flame. Their doubts just fuel my untamed. Walked away with my head held high, left their chains beneath the sky. They thought I'd crumble, thought I'd fall, but I'm the one who breaks the wall. I've never been afraid to let it all go. They thought they held the strings of my show, bound by their words, but they don't know. I'm the storm, I'm the fire, I'm the glow. They thought my roots would never grow in fields where winds of freedom blow, but here I stand, unshaken, bold, a story no one else could hold. They thought rebel left when silence calls. They thought my song would fade away, but I'm the voice they can't betray. I've left behind the chains they made. Their whispers tried to make me afraid, but I don't bow, I don't obey. I walk my path, I find my way. With my head held high, left their chains beneath the sky. They thought I'd crumble,